there's always one moment in royal life that truly does stun you. There's no two ways about it. We saw it recently, didn't we, with His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. Prince William, he was out and about in, one of his events, and this little boy came up to him and said, "Oh, how much money do you have in the bank?" It's a sort of question that only children can ask. And it's the thing with children is they just ask with such innocence. They know you're a prince, they believe that you're incredibly wealthy, so they're just going to ask that burning question. Yeah, how much money do you have in the bank? Of course, years of royal work and years of royal life are very adept for someone like, of course, His Royal Highness Prince William. He knew exactly what to say and he probably said, "I'm not quite sure." How embarrassing would it have been, of course, if the kid had said, "Well, I heard this." But you see, this is the problem when you put yourself out there. And more importantly, you have to think about it, particularly when you're trying to do something of a comeback. As Meghan Markle recently was at that variety sort of dinner, event, launch, power women, whatever you want to call it. As we told you before, she strode up and down the red carpet, and of course, short of airlifting her off, there was no way that she was shifting off that red carpet. This was her moment, her big time, going to be meeting and greeting and schmoozing. Of course, all the people that she'd been ignored by for so many years until marrying a prince of the realm. That's right, part of the British monarchy. Suddenly, people were fascinated. But as the evening unrolled, it was also interesting to see those that were interested in her and those that weren't. Clearly, Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't that enamoured, and that's because he has a good close relationship with His Majesty the King. All about climate change, even though, of course, like Harry and Meghan, he abuses his power on a regular basis to go off and fly private jets. You get the picture. But what really stunned Meghan on that particular night was the fact that there she was, meeting some of the most powerful women in the entertainment business, people that she truly alludes to herself and hopes one day to emulate and perhaps even become, dare I say, more successful. But the situation dramatically cooled, in fact, went to sub-zero temperatures when a major executive, one that Meghan really needs to keep on side, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, asked the all-important burning question. So, what does a duchess do exactly? Now, apparently, according to the source that was there was, shall we say, a slight frizz-on, simply because no one was allowed to ask any leading questions about royalty, meeting royals, the people that she'd met with inside the British monarchy. You get the picture. Now, it's interesting because obviously she is sort of, if you like, a non-entity in a world of powerful women. So quite why they will be so revered remains to be seen. But you see, royalty sells, and Meghan did insist on her name card being Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. You get the picture again. So while this person basically asked the question that everybody's been asking, what exactly does the Duchess of Sussex do thousands of miles away to earn such a title on a place that she's clearly never going to be visited again? Apparently Meghan leaned in very quietly and, offered a few words. But let's just say that this particular conversation and meeting ended rather abruptly. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, where this will go next. But it just proves the fact that people are becoming less deferential towards Meghan as she hoped and believed. And more importantly, now the floodgates are open because people are basically saying, but what is exactly you do? And for Meghan, clutching hold of the title is the most important thing. It's the only thing that's now a sellability. But even that seems to be now crumbling away. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.